Hey y'all, I'm Rachel.
Hi, I'm Hannah, and we are the Sisters in the Scriptures. And today we are going to be teaching you on focus. What is our focus, and have we lost our focus? Is our focus the inward beauty, or is it the outward beauty?
So, the reason this Bible study came about was me realizing that so many people in this world are focused on their beauty and like their outward. They're putting on so much makeup or wearing these clothes or like different name brand clothes, and so they lose their focus on who they should really be paying attention to. We don't want people paying attention to us. We should be wanting people to pay attention to the Lord.
That's exactly right. So we are going to be sharing with you what we studied on. I don't know how long this has taken us, but I feel like it didn't take us very long to study over this because we've looked at it before. But this is really fun to do this. Even though it took a little bit of time, it's still fun to just study God's Word and go deeper into what He has to show us. So we're going to be in 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 3 and 4. So verse 3 says, "Whose adorning let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair and of wearing of gold." So I want to give you some definitions real quick. Adorning means outwardly arrangements, like your clothes and your whatever you do, like makeup and stuff like that, and jewelry. And then let means allow. Outward is external, the outside, stuff that people see, like what you're looking at right now. And then plaiting means fixing or doing, basically doing your hair. Then apparel is a dress, inner or outer, cloak or clothes. And then gold is a golden article, like you can say it's a jewelry. So, whose adorning, let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair and of wearing of gold or of putting on of apparel. So first, who is Peter talking to? Well, Peter is the writer of this book. Who is Peter talking to? Well, he's talking to the wives. It says in verse 1, "Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husband," etc. So I believe this can be towards all ladies. All ladies can and need to apply this, not just wives. So he's talking to the wives about this. So basically, what I got out of this verse is, ladies, don't allow the outward appearance to be your focus. Like a lot of jewelry, overdoing your makeup, worrying about your hair too much, expensive clothing, basically overdoing the outward. And I share definitions with you. So yeah, it's very important to not let that word be your focus. And I'll explain why. Satan wants to distract us. And he has distracted us in so many ways. And he wants to distract us from focusing on Christ, the Great Commission, which the Lord has commanded us to do, and our inward beauty, which is our heart and our character, which is very important. So how has Satan distracted us? What are examples? Well, examples are movies, magazines, models, posters, billboards, even friends and coworkers, which is sad. And there's tons more. So have we gotten distracted? Have you gotten distracted? What do you focus on? Are you lukewarm? Because if we're not focused on Christ, if we're focusing on Christ in the world, then we're lukewarm. We're on the fence. Lukewarm is nasty, by the way. So we don't want to be there. Okay, so have we gotten distracted? What is our focus? And are we lukewarm? So Revelations 2:4, it basically says they lost their first love. Have we been distracted by Satan and looked away from Christ because the world looked more pleasing? Have we stepped away from our first love? Even for a little bit. It's still a sin, even if you do it for a little bit. And I'm guilty of that. We all sin, comes to the glory of God, and we have been distracted. So have we lost our first love? Have we lost our focus on Christ? All right. So, let's see.
Okay, so I just wanted to say a quick note. So the outward adorning is not wrong, but when it does become wrong, or when it is wrong, is when it becomes our main focus.
Yeah.
So, basically, what I got out of this was, don't let them be your main focus. Kind of like what I just said. It's not wrong at all. You know, I wear makeup. I wear jewelry. You know, I wear clothes, obviously. But what he's trying to say here is when outward things become your main focus, then you know you've lost what you're supposed to be focusing on. So basically, I said don't let them be your main focus. Isaiah 53:2 says, "For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground. He hath no form nor comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him." So this is talking about Jesus. And one thing that I noticed through Jesus' life, there was so many people drawn to him. Now, a lot of them, yes, they were drawn to him because he could do miracles. But why were the other people drawn to him if he had no form or no comeliness? So I went and looked that up, and I realized it was his character. You know, it was the way he was. It's the way he treated people. He wasn't focused on the outward. He became humble, and you know, he was just an amazing guy, and we should follow after him. You know, focus on serving others instead of wanting to be served, or giving to others instead of wanting to be given gifts. So basically, he was, you know, the way we need to be. He was focused on character and focused on others instead of himself. And then Proverbs 31:30 says, "Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised." So beauty is vain, and vain means emptiness or vanity, having no substance, value, or importance. So basically it's saying beauty is vain. So beauty has no importance if that is your focus. If you're not living for the Lord, if you don't have good character, your life is basically vain. There's no point in it. You can look pretty on the outside, but inside you're actually dead. There's no reason for you to be living, basically. And then it's fleeting. So basically you're not gonna look the same your whole entire life. You know, you can look gorgeous now, and then when you are old, you won't look so good. But there are so many married couples that will still say, you know, she's still beautiful since the first day I met her. You know, why is that? It's usually because of her character, because she still has the character, or maybe her character is even better than when he met her. So basically, it's going to be your character that people are going to focus on. Now, there are some people, sadly, that do focus on the outward. And we don't want to be that way. You know, we want to focus on someone's character, and, you know, they're living for the Lord. That is way more beautiful than looking gorgeous. So, basically, don't let your outward adorning be more important than your inward character. So, character is very important.
Yeah. All right, so verse 4 says, "But let it be the hidden man of the heart, in that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of God of great price." So when it says, "But let it be the hidden man of the heart," what does that mean? Well, that means the inward beauty, your spiritual being. And it says, "In that which is not corruptible." Your outward, like Rachel mentioned, is corruptible. You'll be old one day, you'll be wrinkled, you'll die, pass away. And so our focus should be on eternity, and should be the inward beauty. That should be our spiritual walk with the Lord. Okay, so make your focus be the inward beauty, which is your heart and your character. And what's very important, and can be a little scary, honestly, is your heart will reflect on the outside. Mm-hmm. Whatever your actions are, your thoughts on the inside, those could come out and people could realize those. And keep your heart and your outward appearance cleaned up, because they reflect each other. Like I said, whatever you think, whatever you feel on the outside, or on the inside, it will reflect on the outside with bad attitude or good attitude, whatever your character is. And then like how you look on the outside, it reflects who you are on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you act a certain way or if you dress a certain way, people are like, oh, I think she's a Christian. She really seems like a Christian. Or like people are like, oh, that's disturbing. I wonder if like she needs Jesus or something. So I don't want people to think that, and I pray that that's one of my biggest prayers, that people do not think that I'm not a Christian. So keep your heart and your outward appearance cleaned up so people know who you actually are. Because we're supposed to be reflecting Christ, not ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So we are vessels to make Christ look good and to lead others to Him. So how do we lead others to Christ? Well, put on a meek and quiet spirit. In verse 4, it says, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit. So, like I said, how to we put on a meek and quiet spirit? Meek means mild and humble. Quiet means still, undisturbing, and anger is disturbing. Because like I don't want to be known as an angry person. I want to be known as a gentle, a quiet, and a meek person, just like Jesus was. And Proverbs 15:1 says, a soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. And then Colossians 3:21, in just a moment. Right. Colossians 3:21 says, fathers, provoke not your children to anger, lest they be discouraged. Anger disturbs me. I don't know about you, but I do not like anger. I don't want to be known to be an angry person. It discourages people, especially little children. Like when you were yelled at, when you were yelled at when you were little, like wasn't it disturbing? By anyone, even by like just say like a friend or a sibling. Say like they got angry at you. It's always disturbing no matter who says it, who does it. So yeah, Proverbs 13:1 is a good verse to memorize. I've memorized it. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. So let me go back to 1 Peter 3. And Psalms 37:8 is cease from anger. And that's the first part of the verse, is cease from anger. So it's a very important thing. That should be like one of our goals.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so too much or a lack of clothing will be a distraction. So it can distract others and cause sin, and it can cause lust, and lust leads to anger. So make sure what you do, say, and wear won't be a distraction. When in doubt, throw it out. You're like, oh, I don't know about this shirt. Is it modest or not? Go ahead and just throw it out. You just throw it away, because you don't want, if it ends up being a distraction, you're going to feel so bad. So keep Christ your focus. So basically, in a nutshell, what is our focus? Is it the inward or is it the outward?
Yeah, so what I had on verse 4 is the character is more important. So like she's already kind of explained what the hidden man is. I put your inward into character. So also the last part of Proverbs 31:30 is, so favor is deceitful, beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. So that part, a woman that feareth the Lord, there's her character. She shall be praised. So it's basically the verse was saying, beauty is, it's empty. There is a reason in it, but that shouldn't be our focus. But fearing the Lord is our main purpose. So our character. And the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit. So I basically focused on meekness when I was studying this, because it's something that I really need to work on. I'm not the most meek person. But what is meekness? So the opposite of meekness is anger, like Hannah did share. Meekness is yielding my personal rights and expectations to God. So meekness is not weakness. A lot of people will probably say that when you're meek, you are weak, because you are letting, not necessarily letting people like run over you and stuff, but when someone is being rude or someone is angry with you, you turn back with a soft answer and, you know, you work with them through it. That's not weakness. That actually, meekness takes a lot of strength. You may not know that, but it does. It takes more strength to be meek than it does to get angry. So it's definitely way more important to be meek than to be angry. So meek, demonstrating an attitude of humility and gentleness out of a confident obedience to God and his ways. So basically, have an attitude of humility and gentleness in everything. So when the next time your younger brother does something and you want to get angry, just speak to him in gentleness. You know, if it bothers you, be gentle and humble. You know, if also that could go another way. If someone tells you something that they see wrong in your life, you know, be humble about it, accept it. That's a short testimony. I had done something, and my mom came to me, and, you know, she was like, Rachel, you need to fix this. And I wasn't too humble about it. You know, I kind of got offended. You know, I felt bad because it wasn't like something that I had intentionally done. But later on, I realized that, you know, mom is usually right. And I need to accept in humility what she told me to do. And so basically, you know, I try to do that. You know, if there's something that someone sees in me that they don't like, then I will try my best to fix that. So basically, meekness is controlled strength. So instead of, I know it keeps going back to anger, instead of getting angry immediately when something happens, you know, be meek. You know, it's way more important. It's way better character than getting angry, and you will be noticed. You will definitely be noticed when you're angry, but whenever someone sees you meek, they're gonna end up like totally loving you. You know, not just because of who you are, but because of like your character. You're living for the Lord. So that's basically what I have right now. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and see you next time.